Welcome to another episode of The Village Show with me, Chak the Sound Sangoma. This is episode 35. I hope you guys are well. I hope you're having a beautiful Monday. Today I have a jam-packed show for you guys. I haven't seen you. There's a week that we didn't post. We're sorry about that. I know you guys have been waiting for those weekly episodes. We apologize for not giving you one last week, but today we're going to be making up for all of the lost time. On our music video appreciation, we have a music video by MattLavai for the song called Level Up. We're going to be appreciating a music video by MattLavai. On our topic of the week, we're going to be talking about the daddy issues. Why is a lot of young men and young boys having problems with their fathers? It's either their fathers are absent, or having problems with their fathers. You check what I mean? We're going to talk about that on the topic of the week. And on the music appreciation, we're going to be appreciating a song by MattLavai Jazz called Siwelele. A song by MattLavai Jazz we're going to be appreciating from Open Mic Records. And then on our Kasi Superhero, we have Mr. 16V, Dr. Khumalo, who's a Kaizer Chiefs legend, who's a footballer who we're going to be appreciating today. And then on What's the Hustle, we're going to be talking about logistics, the business of transportation, of taking goods from one place to the next. And then on our trailer watch, we have a movie from Netflix called Anila Kupo. That's the trailer that we're gonna be watching today. Without further ado, let's get to the Village Show. This is the Village Show, episode 35 with me, Chak the Sound Sangoma. Let's get to it. Without any further ado, as I said, we're going to be appreciating a music video by MattLavai, with a song called Level Up. Some people this is not the first time we have appreciated a song from MattLavai. It's because MattLavai has been putting in the work, and MattLavai, the music is beautiful, the quality, the music videos and the hustle. So at the Village Show, that's what we appreciate, and we just wanted to appreciate one more time MattLavai with the song Level Up.
I love it till I fuck when I'm passing. Love it about levels us. Love it about levels us, man. Levi's world. We fokken lijkt op van visie don. Bagger die maakt die kroon bij mitters. Allemaal uit wat ik wat is uit. Ben ik eens al volgen vriend van rippers. Ik zal die nights rip om likkers. Allemaal die lijkt is wie ik is. In mijn kop was zo in koop. Maar ze laat mij daar niet op mijn nikkers. Dus ik kan het gloeien, ik vat in mijn kakje. Ik heb nog nooit in een lievere spattie. Hoe kan ze gamble is aan mijn life. Met allemaal lief chops in een pakje. En als die boeren komen in die blok. Je weet die zout aan op je dakje. En met het vlek. Hij zien ze niet in, maar nu zijn die skachie. Trap bij pedal up. Man is level up. Per story up. Man is level up. Als level up op plain time. Met de bezel op. Als level up. Level up. Level up. Level up. Trap bij pedal plat. Man is level up. Sturdy up. Man is level up. It's a plain Jane. Man is bezel up. It's level up. Ja, it's level up.
Ons level op en niemand gaat voor ons stoppie. Want talent ain't enough, ons vegat en ons geen oppie bra. Gaat al je favorite, je laat ik met mijn fokkie. Is ieder zijn frik op je spat. Jaren broed zit de optie, jelle vraag met zo'n hou. Ik speel ik hem net zoals ijshockey. Als net iets wat ik maak, je want zit tuk op of wel nog. Ik was een beetje zag op, ik is oké, maar dan wil mij rove. Je top 10 is aan mijn klom kak. Mijn wits mijn kompie, I don't care. Noem mijn namen, haai ik het zevrie dame. De boekje men is weer uit op spook in een donker kamer. Repa zit ik aan op bewijs. Was ik in een paar maanden. Mijn reepnaam uiteindelijk volcano. Wies van ik spoeg lava. Jelle wat zo ze blammen al die dus. Noem namen, want bij mij is jelle antis. Hij is jelle noem namen. Fok week, ik is hier slave. Ik breek big chains, ik maak een big chains. En bewijs alle hoe muziek lijkt van ik.
Trap bij pedal up. Man is level up. Per story up. Man is level up. Is level up op plain time. Met de bezel op. Is level up. Level up. Level up. Level up. Trap bij pedal plat. Ons level up, sturdy up, en ons level up. It's a plain Jane, en ons bezel up. It's level up, ja, it's level up.
Yes, that's MattLavai right there with the song Level Up. As you can hear, quality music, the rhymes, the bars, everything is on point. We love it. We appreciate MattLavai for everything that he's doing for the music industry. Please make sure that you go and engage with MattLavai's content. Please make sure that you subscribe on YouTube. Please make sure that you go and follow him on all of the social media. On our topic of the week, this week, we're going to be talking about a very sensitive issue, something that I'm dealing with myself, and the reason why I'm speaking about this issue today is because, I met even some young men, who have the same problem with me, and being open and letting them know what's going on in my life made me realize I'm not the only one who's going through these problems. That's daddy issues. Some people might want to call it daddy issues, but, I like calling it absent but present fathers. What is the difference? A lot of people might think that, whenever you say you have daddy issues or you have father issues or absent present fathers is because your father is not there. You check what I mean? I grew up in a lovely family. I won't lie. When I was young, my family was full of love. I used to see my dad show my mom love and vice versa. I grew up in a perfect marriage family. Me and my sister, my parents made sure that everything that we wanted, we got. And then sometime, I don't know what happened, a switch flipped, where things started changing. I was noticing a lot of fights between my dad and my mom. My dad was spending most of the time not being able at being at home. They were not agreeing at anything. It was always family meetings left and right. You check what I mean? And I grew up around that. I grew up seeing that, seeing the pain growing up, receiving calls from your mother telling you that, your dad is sexually abusing her in terms of, GBV, you check what I mean? And that is things that when I was 12, I was dealing with. And that time I'm in boarding school, I'm helpless. I don't even know what I have to do with my mom. You check what I mean? But my dad was going through what he was going through. I think what other people will say he was going through a midlife crisis or whatever it is. As far as I know, my dad was actually cheating with other people and my dad wasn't really taking care of the family as he used to be, and then my dad started being distant, and I won't lie, my dad used to be able to provide even back in the day, financially, but emotionally, he was never there. I don't remember having like even one sit down talk with my dad where we could just, have a heart-to-heart talk and let him know of what I've been going through and what I'm going through. And for him to give me that courage or strength as my father to kind of like lead me into being a man. Most of what I know of being a man is what I learned from either, publications, TV, reading books, or even other men outside. I've never had that guidance where my dad would actually guide me and feeling very open to actually talk to him about issues that are, I'm feeling like even when we had a relationship, this was difficult to have this conversation because again, the way he posed or the way he was raising me was like a Michelin style. You have to be strong. Everything that you deal with, you gotta deal with. I've dealt with things. Nothing is gonna be different from you. You check what I mean? And I just wanted advice. I just wanted to have Superman, in my corner. And when I didn't have Superman, that made me grow up very, very fast. It made me realize that for me to be able to get where I'm supposed to be or be the man that I wanna be, I need to be disciplined about myself. But again, with that, there's always these traumas that are really, really embedded deep down that you don't even know sometimes that you have these traumas. For example, the trauma of actually being like him. I don't want to be like him. Most of the time when I get into relationships and I start, vibing with a female, there's always this thought of, I don't want to see myself being like my dad, the way he treated my mom. And I feel like that trauma, for a long time kind of like crippled me, into thinking that I don't need, to have relationships because of that fear, the fear of being like my dad and, seeing that situation or actually doing that situation. And society always, exaggerate most of these things like, you're going to be like your dad when you grow up, or you're going to be like him, or you're going to take after him, I'm saying? You need to be careful. My mom is telling me the same thing. My sister is telling me the same thing, the community, and I'm trying and I'm fighting to be different from him. So I had to recognize myself as myself without having my dad close to me, or without, looking at my dad as a superhero or a person who's going to save me, because he was not going to be there. You check what I mean? And time was going by where things that I thought that I was supposed to be taught by my dad, I wasn't getting taught. So I had to teach myself and find myself. And with that comes a lot of like, barriers that you create, things that you believe, and sometimes some of the things really hurt you, because you're trying to protect yourself and you're trying to be strong. You know what I mean? So a lot of us have those problems. Like even now, I don't have a good relationship with my dad. I love my dad to bits, don't get me wrong. I love him to bits, but we can't be in the same, room, or we can't be in the same space for long extended times, because it's always going to be a fight. And another thing that I feel like, I don't fight with him. I've forgiven him for everything. And as much as I do get pissed, I'm not going to be angry and say I don't get pissed, because it's just how it acts that I don't understand him. Maybe if we have a conversation, we can fix it. You check what I mean? So it's always, I have to apologize even though when I'm not wrong. My dad is never wrong. I remember one situation, we were actually fixing the car. We needed to go from Joburg. We're going home, and the car had a problem last minute. There's a part that we needed to change. I was helping him change the part. So I remember seeing how he took the part out, and actually put the part together. And then I could see that he was actually doing it wrong, and I actually told him in a nice way, like, yo, Dad, I think that you're putting that back wrong. And he was like, nah, you don't know anything, I've been doing this, just shine the light where it needs to be shined. He was already frustrated because the trip was taking long, and then he jammed the thing in, and, obviously it was wrong and I was right. Even in that situation, there was never a comeback to be like, oh, okay, cool, I'm sorry I didn't listen to you. I should have listened. I've been going through frustration. To him, it was just like, take it out, try to fix what it was the problem and put it back here, not even anything to say. You check what I mean? So it felt like all the time I had to prove myself, I would go to school and come back with good grades, like really, really great grades. And I was expecting my dad to be the person who's going to give me the courage, but he was never there. That's why even now, I don't really expect somebody to actually tell me that I'm doing a good job. If I couldn't get it from my dad, I don't expect it from anybody else. I just do what I have to do. And I think, in the middle of all of that trauma and everything else, there's something that really happened to kind of like give me, this freedom or understanding that I have to take responsibility of my life. If I had to go back, would I do it differently? I don't think I would do it differently, but I would be aware of different things and how all of these things are kind of like shaping my life and shaping me as being a man. And I was even actually, scared of marriage. I'm scared of, relationships. I'm going through therapy to kind of like learn that, whenever I get into a relationship and it starts getting serious, I started having all of these thoughts and I started having and bringing back all of these traumas that I experienced, with what happened with my mom and my dad. And I just feel like, I don't want to go through that. And the only way to protect myself from that is not actually even involved in relationships, so I start kind of like taking things, the way they're not supposed to be, and it's painful sometimes, not having your dad and not having to talk about your dad, not understanding kind of like your roots and not understanding all of those things. But to any boy or any young man that's out there who's going through the same thing, it might be that your dad is just not here. He passed away or something like that, or he's here financially, but he's not there emotionally. Most dads just feel like because they're providing and they're giving you food and everything you need, you're okay. Sometimes you just need that emotional, bondage with your dad, or having somebody that you can speak to without having, being scared of being judged or anything like that. Because if you're getting judged by your dad, your confidence level can go out. Any man can shake that tree because the roots are not really, deep down. You don't understand what it is to be a man. You don't understand what to stand up because you have never seen that. You were never raised like that. So this is an issue out there, and if there is dads who are watching this, young dads, I would like for you guys to be there for your kids. Don't raise your kids with fear. Raise your kids with talking to them. Don't make them fear you. Fearing you is not going to make them good kids. Fearing you they're just going to wait until they're no longer around you or they're more older, and then they're going to start doing the things that, they could have been doing back in the day and actually, being figured out. So like I said, don't raise your kids with fear. Raise your kids with understanding. Make them understand why it's wrong to do certain things. Make them understand why it is right to do certain things instead of using fear. Like if your kid is failing, raising your voice and promising to beat them up is not the solution. The solution is to make them interested, make them understand that this is a good thing for them, make them them interested in seeing themselves prosper. You check what I'm saying? Make them interested in seeing themselves being better people instead of raising us with fear, because everything now becomes fear. When I started drinking, of course I had the fear of if my dad finds me, he's going to beat me up, but that didn't stop me from drinking because I didn't understand why he was stopping me while he was doing it, and other people who come in the house and actually do it, but he was stopping me from not doing it. You check what I mean? Because I didn't have understanding. So I feel like as parents, sometimes it's important to kind of like understand that you need to understand your kids and raise them with understanding, and they need to know that if anything is happening in their life, they can come back home either to their mom or either to their dad to make sure that they solve the problem. So that's just the topic of the week, something that I encountered in the weeks while I was speaking to the youth in the streets. You check what I mean? And I just felt like I needed to voice my opinion. If this is something that you're dealing with, again, you can hit me up on the comments. We can expand in the conversation. For those who have my WhatsApp number and you just want to talk, you already know what you have to do. Again, like I said, this week, topic of the week, we're talking about, fatherless nation, or absent, present, fathers. You check what I mean? Cool. As we go on with the show, on our music appreciation, we have a song by Mapara Jazz called Siwelele. This is a song from Open Mic Records. Without me speaking a lot, here's the song.
Let's my para jazz. Ubeletse mapara a jazz.
That's Mapara Jazz right there with the nice Mapiano song called Siwelele. Mapara Jazz have been making great music. Again, if you want to engage with their music, please make sure that you go to their YouTube page. Make sure that you engage with them on all of their social media as they keep on bringing us beautiful music. On our Wakasi Superhero today, we're going to be appreciating one of my heroes. I remember when I was young, I wanted to grow up and be like this guy, Mr. Dr. Khumalo 16V, who is a legend in South African football, who is one of the people who have made and showed us that it's possible to actually raise up from the ranks, wherever you're from, to become one of the greatest, football player that we have ever had in South Africa. Dr. Khumalo's history is very, very long. He has broken a lot of records, starting playing, at a high flight football at a very, very young age. If I had to speak about Dr. Khumalo, we can be spending a whole day by just speaking to him. So without me speaking a lot, there's actually a snippet that I actually wanted to play for you. There is a series documentary that's actually playing on Mzansi Magic where you can actually go and watch the Dr. Khumalo story.
As young as I was, a novice, born in Soweto, never thought that that day will come whereby I'll be offered an opportunity to showcase my skills, which was God given. But it all began in this room.
87's got fond memories for me and him. I don't think there will ever be youngsters that can make their debut in a derby at the age of 18, 19.
So masitsi yangena, but 10 minutes delay because kugcwele ngaphandle. Then eventually bangena abantu singene. Before siyehla ngithi ku-AC ngikhohlwe something ngifuna ukuyelanda e-dressing room yabo. We said, awunamoya oya kae reada awusakuphiphela. Ngiyatsiba batla uja fats. And benyothi mangifika e-dressing benyophumula ngithi lalela la nasi strip senu. Fight tracks utami izele Commissioner Street ngibamba itaxi ngekasi ngihlukane nayo yonke lali. U-AC athi awunala uya khona. Siyara ubone sana uruwetsa ngojimi so go in there. First touch how make sure pass around. Isimba two.
I was actually in tears when he walked on the tunnel.
Suke siqala match.
Hayi baba baqale problem.
I told somebody, I said, Mfano uthi usinya ba.
Already, it's an open game. Dr. Khumalo. Still Khumalo. Into Kuze. Kuze with a chance. Medina. Kuze.
That's 16V Dr. Khumalo right there. And always on the Village Show, we would like to just appreciate Dr. Khumalo, take our head off and say, appreciate you for everything that you do. And we want to give you your flowers while you're still alive and know that your name will always, always stay in our minds, no matter what, for everything that you have done for all of the African kids and showing us hope, especially in the sport of football. On What's the Hustle this week, like I said, we're going to be talking about logistics, the business of actually moving goods from point A to point B. Logistics is a very, very lucrative business because always, if you think about it, goods needs to be moved from point A to point B. Not only just goods, even people. But now when we're looking at logistics, we're talking about mostly goods. It can be different kinds of goods. For food to get from point A from point B, vehicles are needed for that to happen. For clothing, for example, even Eskom, for coal to actually get to the substation, they need to be transported. So logistics is a very, very important business. I'm not gonna sit here and talk to you like an expert. I went and actually did my research and I found guys who were having a conversation about this. And now I'm gonna play you that snippet of those guys.
Developing from a purely security company to a logistics company through these parks and how it's going to work. Just take your time to explain the business concept.
The whole business concept is that I'm a property person. So I'm actually building property that are secure and are letting them. So the security aspect is that the DAO technology, which we have now, which can do all the things that I've said, is the one that is going to secure these complexes. From access control, from this surveillance and monitoring, we are able to monitor who goes in there, because you want security of your, because warehouse is just storage.
Yes.
But you want to store something, these valuable goods, where the place is secure.
Okay, so
through technology.
So who's building these parks? Yourself?
We are investing.
We are investing in those parks.
In those parks.
And then renting them out?
Letting them out.
But when you let them out, they are fully, should I say, automated?
Automated.
Okay.
So all you pay is just pay that, because it's more like finished letting. You know,
okay.
In residential side.
Because an average warehouse will have what inside it?
It will basically have a warehouse space where you store and incorporating offices with the other.
As you can see there, logistics, being a very lucrative business, it needs somebody who's really focused, somebody who's really in love with transporting, somebody who pays attention to detail as you're dealing with other people's goods. You can get contracts from government, from schools, from factories, from shops, from companies that are needing certain, things delivered on a daily or even maybe once a week. So logistics is a very, very good business. And if you want to start a hustle and you got a startup capital and you don't know what to do, maybe you should look into starting a logistics company. On our trailer watch, we're going to be watching a trailer from Netflix called Anina Kumpon. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but without me speaking a lot about this trailer, let's
ọkùnrin àjèjì tó wọnú ìlú wa ẹ̀ wá. arákùnrin.
ta ni ọ́ ń bọ́ lọ ti wá.
tó pèrè ládìkù Aníkúlápó.
gbéra dìde.
Aníkúlápó wọ́n máa dúpẹ́.
ìwọ ni arákùnrin tí wọ́n ń pè ní Aníkúlápó.
orúkọ mi kì í ṣe Aníkúlápó, Sáró lórúkọ mi, aṣọ òfin ni mò ń hùn.
kábíyèsí gbogbo ìgbà tá a bá ti ń wá yín láàfin nínú yàrá ọmọ nínú yàrá rẹ̀ la ti ń bá yín.
wọ́n fa sọ̀ọ̀kì láàfin.
ìkòkò ajẹgúnjẹran fún ọmọbìnrin tẹjọ ń ṣe wọléwọ̀de wọn ṣó ń gbọ́.
ìyá mi.
dánú.
ọ̀dàlẹ̀ rẹ̀.
ẹ̀yin gan-an láláìmoore.
nìkan mo ní ó mọ̀rọ̀ ọmọ pè ránṣẹ́.
Beautiful, beautiful trailer right there. You check what I mean. Thank you very much for watching the Village Show today. If you're watching up until this point, I got much love for you. I am Chuck the Sound Sangoma from the Village Show, a production from Chitangani Productions. I got love for you and I hope you're having a beautiful Monday. Wishing you a beautiful week. And thank you very much for watching our show. Please make sure that you subscribe. If you already subscribed, thank you for that. Please make sure that you like the video. Please make sure that you share this on all of our social media. You can find me on Instagram at The Sound Sangoma. You can find me on Facebook at Chitangani, our Facebook page, and you can find me on Twitter and everywhere else and TikTok as Chitangani Productions. From me and the villagers, with much love, I'm wishing you a very, very beautiful week. See you next time. Peace.